So congratulations on Good Kisser.
Thank you.
Especially the fact that you ladies got the distribution with Netflix starting last week. How does it feel?
I mean, it's crazy. It was also on my birthday, which was like so amazing. It was like it was released on the same day that I was born. So it's gotta mean something good, right? Yeah, it feels really great. How does it feel for you, Wendy Jo? Because it's your film.
Well,
So
it's a bit of a dream come true, after working in film for a long time independently. It's huge, and I'm happy for the work and the story and the cast and crew that, we all made this happen. And then I feel like, yeah, we should be on there, but it doesn't guarantee that you will be on there. So it's fantastic.
So Wendy, where did the original story came from? I mean, how did you come up with this story?
From falling in love with women for 30 or more years, pretty much. It's a genesis for most things that I write about. I love love. I love falling in love. We all have our broken hearts. So it's a little bit of, I like writing about, a player who gets burned, which is kind of a little bit what happens for Kate, who Rachel plays. So yeah, that's the short answer.
Okay. And Rachel, how did you come about on getting on board to a project like this?
I had coffee with Wendy Jo in 2016. We knew each other from a mutual friend, and she was like, "I have this film. I really want you to do it." And we ended up having coffee and sitting down and talking about it. And then she sent me the first 10 pages, I think it was, and I read through them, and I was like, "This is so great! Like, let me know when you're done. Like, I'm around. I'm game." And then she just kind of disappeared, and I didn't hear from her for like 2 years or something like that. And then she calls me, and I'm like, "That's a random call." And I saw the same phone number, and so I answered, and she was like, "Hey, I finished that," or she may have emailed me, but she was like, "I finished that script, and I basically wrote it for you." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay, well, send it over." And then I read it, and I really just connected with all three characters. And she was like, "I want you to play Kate," and I really felt like she really did such a great job on the script, and I just felt so many nuances in all the characters and stuff that I was like, count me in. How much is this going to pay me? And she was like, "It's low budget." And I was like, "Great, I'm doing it."
Well, you definitely want everyone to get paid. It's just always a little bit a wincing moment when it's your movie and you know that it's definitely below rate, but everyone will get paid, and then you're just like, "Oh, I hope they still want to do it," and she did, thank God.
When the script is good, you usually work around the money situation. So.
Sounds like the story of my life when it deals with indies. But most of the time I don't get paid. It's just for free. But anyways,
Oh.
With an indie project like this, you probably are short on time. How did you develop the sort of like the camaraderie, the relationships on and off screen between the three women? Any of you could answer that.
Well, I'll do the shorter version of it took me a while to find the other two once Rachel was locked for Kate. The other two actors, for chemistry reasons and talent and fitting the characters. And it finally came together in Los Angeles when they did a series of chemistry reads with Rachel and different actors coming in and playing the roles. So once that was secured with Carrie Allison Hodge and Julia Erringer playing the other two roles, then it was a matter of getting them up to Seattle where we shot it, because they all live in LA. And, kudos to them as professionals and as human beings that they really worked so great together and helped each other out. I mean, that's what I witnessed. And Rachel, you can take over from there.
I mean, I think we really liked each other, which I think you can't really plan for. It just kind of, happened, which I think was, I think Wendy Jo and everyone kind of got lucky in that aspect, that we really just we liked each other. We're still friends now. So like, I think, for that aspect, it was interesting because we just had chemistry. I think also you can, hire people that don't have any chemistry, and then you're stuck with these actors that really don't seem sexual with each other and really don't seem like they want to sleep with one another, or whatever it is. And I think it was really interesting in the casting process, which I always really like to talk about, when, you know, I was locked and we did these like chemistry reads with like a variety of actors, where like, you know, they would come in and they'd be like, okay, now this person for Jenna and this person for Mia. And then, you know, at the end of it, Wendy Jo called me and asked me, she was like, what are you feeling? And I was like, I don't know who should play who, but I know that it should be Carrie and it should be Julia. And I was like, you guys figure out like who they should play. But, you know, I think because I felt it even in the chemistry read that we had, you know, this sort of thing, the three of us. And I think that was, you know, inherently and we also went out when we first got to Seattle. There was this night where we all just went out and got drunk, the three of us. And I think that really helped us to like kind of really build a relationship between each other. I think that was helpful as well. So, but I really like those girls.
And isn't that that first night after we did this Seattle script read through, and you guys went out to dinner and drinking in Seattle? Isn't that on your Instagram too? Those cool photos you took?
Yeah. We took a bunch of photos like in character, kind of, which was like really cool, and that's still on my Instagram. It's like I think it has like 3,000 views or something now. Like,
what's your Instagram again?
My Instagram is at the letter R, U Paulson, like Rue Paulson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is that there's one thing to do like a chemistry read or a table read, but then there's another thing to actually be on set to do it, because, I mean, one of the most uncomfortable scenes to do is to do a sex scene. And we're talking about not just a regular sex scene, it's a menage a trois sex scene, which could lead to uncomfortable or sexual insecurities, which was shown in the film. Could you talk about that?
I think I was just talking about this earlier. It's like so funny when you watch, you know, sex scenes on TV or in movies, and you're like, oh my God, that's the hottest scene. Like, I love that scene. And then you think about, like, as an actor, like, it's so unsexy to shoot a sex scene, because it's like, you know, Julia's like elbow was like on my face in like the wrong place, and like, you know, her underwear was like twisted sideways, or, you know, whatever it is. And so I think Wendy Jo and everyone, you know, on the crew made it pretty comfortable for us to do that. I think that, you know, we had conversations prior about, you know, what we felt comfortable with and what we like wanted to take off and what we wanted to take on or keep on. And, you know, I think that was really, you know, it was a closed set. It was just us and Wendy Jo and Ryan, our DP, and the sound person. So I think that was, you know, it made us feel really comfortable. But I think, look, I think in real life, the awkwardness of that would be awkward. And I think that really plays off in these scenes specifically. I think that comes off as pretty awkward. But, you know, I think it works. And I think it's also like super sexy at the same time. And there's these moments of awkwardness that I think would really happen if that was really happening in life. So, yeah.
Thinking that, you know, and it was important for me to you know, plant some seeds before they're actually in bed together or even kissing, like to play with, well, will they or won't they? Like, is this actually going to happen? And then when Jenna burns her finger on the candle and it's just she and Kate talking as lovers, as girlfriends, as intimates, for Jenna to say literally that she's afraid she won't be able to have an orgasm, and that's when they set up this pact, and she's trusting Kate to kind of take care of her if it comes to that, pardon the pun. And you know, that's kind of the basic setup that I was hinging the story on. You know, it's like, will Kate let her down? Will Kate be paying attention? Will, you know, what's going to happen? But also from a sexual point of view, like sexual health point of view. Women have these conversations a lot, at least in my life, gay or straight, which is everybody's created differently, right? So it's like my little nod to go like, okay, let's talk about orgasm. Let's talk about how vulnerable that is if you've not slept with someone before. Let's talk about how you convey to someone what works for you that may work for this person, but it doesn't work. The same technique doesn't work for that person. And it's a kind of conversation I like. It's a small way of me to introduce that into the pop culture world without being heavy-handed, so to speak, about it. So if that all makes sense, it's like it's actually important to me to like talk about sexual like framing and how you can be happier, you know, how you can communicate maybe a little bit more clearly with whoever you're going to be sleeping with, so that y'all have fun, you know.
Then try to explain the popsicle scene. I mean, that was just something out of like a porn film or something like that. And no one does that in real life. Come on.
Really? Says
Maybe it's just my life then.
says you. And it indicates maybe some porn that you've been watching that I haven't been.
I can find that porn.
So no, it's actually. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but it's the kind of thing in the story for a spoiler alert. You know, I don't want to put on screen right now like exactly what happens. I like giving a wink and a nod to, oh, what about the popsicle scene, and leave it at that. That being said, of course that can happen.
Talk about you know, one of the things that was a great scene throughout the entire movie is basically developing the relationship towards the hookup or the, you know, one night stands, but with the drinking, and I actually enjoyed was the dance sequence, which I'm just curious is how long did that actually take you to do the dance sequence, or did you just basically on an indie set you party for 2-3 nights?
Oh no.
I wish it was that, you know.
No, this is we had 12 days, 12 shooting days, and only 2 days off, with cast flown up from LA, so they weren't even living in Seattle. So they were out of their element. So we, you know, time is very, very precious. And so, no, there's no winging it, or they're not drinking real, you know, alcohol in those scenes, but, you know, we worked it out. They all were so great figuring out the choreography, where we're putting the camera, like that's all, you know, intentional. And then it was intentional for me that it would be handheld shot from with Ryan Purcell, fabulous director of photography, as opposed to most of the rest of the movie is not handheld. So it's the one scene that's all handheld, so it can be fluid and it can be visceral and physical. Also, there's 3, not 2 bodies to try to capture. And it's actually a really fun night of shooting, all things considered. But
that's my favorite scene.
And you know, and they're having to dance not to the song I actually cut it to. So that, you know, kudos to actors in general, and for them pulling that off, because they're dancing to something, but not the actual music.
Who's your name? What's your daddy?
Yeah, I think Rachel is the one who said, you know, I want to put a different song, and then for some interesting reason, out of the realm of millions of songs, it's the Zombies. What's your name? Who's your daddy? What is that called? Beware who's in me. So yeah, and now she's frozen right now. She's frozen in the positive memory of this. Look she's just reliving it.
I guess
Fabulous.
she is. So while she froze it, I guess we could talk about. Hey, could you talk about the challenges of the night shoots that's going on for
Yeah, it's definitely something you, as a director or producers or the whole cast and crew, it's definitely something you purposely, let's make it all a night shoot from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Let's just make it as physically trying as possible. So you don't set out to create those harder conditions and get off your sleep patterns and everything. But it was really important to me to shoot it night for night as it takes place, because so much of it is in one home, multiple rooms in the backyard in one home. When we shot the long shots and you could see the backyard or the front door, it was important to me that that's the real night that we're seeing, that it's not fake, and it doesn't, so we can open it up, you know, open up the scene, open up the house, have it feel more sensual and real. And then, you know, the actors, I can't speak for them, but I'm assuming, and hopefully Rachel can pop back on with the Zoom, but you know, we're all in the nighttime together, you know, it's not day for night where we're bagging up all the windows to make it look like night. It's actually, we can actually hear real crickets outside when we go outside for a break. We, you know, and I think that adds in to the sensuality of the story.
So, it sounds like it kind of created some challenges itself. It's in
Oh,
particular.
yeah, because you know, you have to, then you're sleeping during the day, and the cast is, you know, it's 12-hour days, and then you're sleeping during the day, then having to come back and get your energy up, but it's 5 p.m., you know. But it was worth it.
Absolutely. Could you talk about the having? Is it easy just to have everything basically in one setting at the house, or does that pose some difficulties for yourself?
Well, I wrote the script to be that way. I wrote Good Kisser to play out in that kind of one location, everything taking place in one night, for possible, you know, the menage a trois. I wanted it to feel like we were going along for the ride that they're all on. And to do that, you know, it makes sense. Hi, honey.
Sorry.
He was just asking about, you know, the night shoots, but also, I don't know if you want to add anything from, you know, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m.
It was hard. It was definitely hard. I mean, I think I totally get why it was done, and I think it would have taken away from the film had we tried to shoot it during the day, not only for budgetary restrictions, but just because, like, as an actress, I think that I wanted it to be at night because it all took place in the span of this night, and every time we kind of showed up on set, it, like, we were transported back to this, like, night that we were having together, I think. So I get why they did it. It took me like a month to recover, though. I literally was like staying up till 6 in the morning for like the next month when I was home. So I think we were exhausted, and it was, you know, I've talked to the girls about it a lot, and we were saying, like, all we would do is we would get home at like 6, go to bed, we would like wake up, exercise, and then like have to be back on set, and like that was all we were doing like the entire time. So it was crazy, but I think it was worth it. I think it turned out, I think it was the right choice. So.
Wow, excellent! It sounds like everything. This was a good experience for both of you, because after all, it is actually complete. Let me start wrapping things up with both of you. Talk about the attraction of doing indie projects, because, you know, a lot of people some people like to do blockbusters and large budgets, but this is quite the opposite. And it takes a certain type of people to love doing low budget films, and you're those people.
Well, I'll let Rachel answer first there.
Yeah, I think, look, I like to do projects that are good, you know, so I think it's important to do indie projects because I think it's important to support indie filmmakers, and, you know, I'm an indie filmmaker myself, so I think that that's, you know, an important part of my life. But I think that for me, it's really just about how good the project is, no matter what the budget is, no matter, you know, if the project's good and it's $1 million budget, you know, versus if it's good and it's a, you know, $100,000 budget. Like, it doesn't really matter to me as long as the project is good. So that's kind of, but I do think it's important, you know, to support local indie filmmakers and filmmakers that are, you know, really stretching their budgets and doing things. And I think this movie looks so good for how much they made it for, and I think that that's something too that, like, is a force to be reckoned with. You know, I think that that's like crazy that they made it for this amount of money in this many days, and it looks like the production value is so much, it looks like such a bigger budget film.
You want to say something, Wendy?
I would agree. I know it is a pleasure to have gotten this far with it, and that it's on Good Kissers on Netflix now. And it does take a village to make any motion picture, but when you don't have $500,000 and multiple millions, and Good Kisser was done for definitely way less than $500,000, not even in $1 million realm of numbers. But it's because of the people you bring together. You know, people end up saying yes. It's like what Rachel was saying. If it's a good project, people believe in it, they want to be a part of it. And then as long as it's, you know, my mode of operating is, as long as I'm not expecting or asking too much. So it's like, it can't be a month of shooting and everyone doesn't have the regular home to go to. You know, it can't be too many shoot days in certain circumstances. So as long as it's like just the right combination, and people know like, okay, this is going to be like boot camp, and I'm in, and we're all in this together, and we succeeded. It's, you know, it's very, very satisfying to know that statistically the odds are against us. So to pull it together and to finish it with high production value and great talent involved, and then it's on Netflix and you're really proud of it. Yeah, it's much harder to pull off than if you're, you know, you've got 300 people on your crew and, you know, millions of dollars. So yeah, it's very satisfying.
Absolutely. And I just have one final thought, but it's for you, Rachel.
Okay.
Who was the better kisser, Carrie or Julia?
Ooh, oh, that makes me feel risky because I feel like if I said,
Hilarious.
I'm gonna go with they both are good kissers, but they have different styles. So like there was a point where I don't even know if Wendy Jo knows this, but Julia slipped me some tongue at one point, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Julia, she was like, sorry, I was into it. And I think that like they're both really, and then like Carrie's lips are so nice. So I think they're both really good at it in specifically different ways. Carrie's are like very soft, and Julia's a little more like, I'm going in, you know. They're both good. They would kill me if I answered, so I can't.
Well, that's an excellent, safe answer. Hey, ladies, hey, thank you very much for this conversation. Hopefully we get to do this again.
It'd be
Hopefully,
fun.
yes.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.